What is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music for the first time as a musician myself, and today is the return of The Messenger, composed by Rainbowdragoneyes. This is two songs, The Poisoned River and The Blue River, both in parentheses say Riviere Turquoise, from the channel Magic Hammer Music. These are requested by BioSleeve. Thank you very much. I checked out The Messenger a couple of times. I know this requester is a huge fan of that game. And the only thing I remember from this is that it is this composer and guest composer, Yasunori Matsuda. I don't know how many songs, but not too many. I'm actually not entirely sure if I've heard Yasunori's songs in this yet. But anyways, The Messenger is really cool. It's very fresh sound, is the only way I can put it. But let's just get into it. Riviere Turquoise. The Poisoned River. All right, let's go. All right, it's the like chiptune / modern sound. I ran out of water. So chaotic. You're gonna have to excuse me, I don't have a whole lot to say. I'm gonna go over into the next one because the songs are connected somehow. All I'll say for now, and this really quick intermission, is I think the song really matches the title. The Poisoned River. That sounded like a bad place to be. It sounded really disgruntled and chaotic. It sounded quite literally like I just envisioned like a purple river, just poisoned. And the sound of it sounded like you're being like, you know, thrown down this river, like the chaotic current and all that. So it was very uncomfortable. The sound was really, I mean, it was good. It was just chaos. Let's just go right into the next one. This is the Blue River. No context here. The only thing that these both share is the river and then Riviere Turquoise. But this one's blue. It's not poisoned. So if I had to take a guess, you revisit this place when it's not poisoned. Or vice versa, I'm not sure the order. I'm going to take another guess that it's going to be the same version of that song, but much cleaner on the ears. That's my guess. This is The Blue River. Whoa. This sounds very Sega Genesis to me, specifically Sega Genesis. This one. Ooh. There's that melody again. Oh, this is so good. Damn, I didn't have enough time. Okay, I think I found something. Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, hopefully that works. Okay, here's my honest thing. First of all, if you notice I didn't talk too much, I kind of want to talk less in general. Say the talking for, I mean, it's always going to be different per video, but I saw the length of these. Both of these were under 2 minutes, so I knew it was going to just be a quick, I'm guessing, just a single loop. So it felt kind of along the lines of what I thought, like a cleaner version of the last one. I don't know the order that you hear them in the game. Excuse me. But it definitely sounds, especially on the motif, that this is the same place. I would have to guess Riviera Turquoise is a location, but then again, I don't know. Either way, it's clearly related, right? Same melody, but a lot less chaos, right? More rhythmic, more melody, cleaner. And also, I don't know, I'm guessing it's intended, the whole river thing, this one had a little bit more of an aquatic sound to it. It's a little more bubbly. It had a little bit more wah kind of sound to it, you know. Still I can describe water sounds. But if you ever saw my VGM Vibes with the aquatic episode, all those songs had that kind of, you know, aquatic vibe to them. So now let me be honest. And in case you're new, which is possible, I don't really ever like critique. Well, how should I say this? I often try to find the best qualities in everything, you know, kind of glass half full, appreciate video game music for what it is. And I think, to just put it lightly without like sugarcoating it, I just really prefer the second one. The Blue River was fantastic. So much so that it made me pull up one of my favorite soundtracks of all time to compare it to, because that's how good it was. Whereas the first one, now I'm not going to say, you know, like, oh, this was bad, I didn't like it. I think the proper thing to say here is it did its job in making you feel uncomfortable, or, you know, I felt the kind of yin and yang here to balance it out. So I think it's intended as an assumption that the first one is meant to be like, you're only supposed to be here for a little while. Stuff is like, just examples like stuff is on fire, drowning, you know, some sort of bad place, you know, either mentally or physically, that kind of thing. It felt like turmoil to me, whereas the second one felt really smooth and you know, all that kind of stuff. So the contrast was there, you know. So I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just, if my ears had to choose between one of them, it definitely was the Blue River and not the Poison River, which, again, I mean, I guess in the game you don't want to be poisoned, right? So it kind of makes sense. So I do think it's doing what it's supposed to, if I had to take a guess. Really, really cool. I like that. And the main reason I like that one is this reminded me, and I have to say this is like I don't know if high honor is the right term here, but I have gone my entire life chasing this synthesizer sound that I haven't heard anywhere else. And that sound is from the Sega Genesis version of Mortal Kombat 1, which, for those that don't know, the very first soundtrack I ever heard in my life that was a video game was either Sonic 1 or Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know which one it was. They were both at the same time that I had them. But either way, though, that's like my introduction to video game music, and what an introduction that was. And the reason that soundtrack has stayed with me my entire life is because of its synthesizer sounds. That sounds so unique. I'll play it a little bit for you right now. But not only that, is that most people that are aware of MK's music know that it's Dan Forden who's been composing since the beginning. But the Genesis version was arranged by Matt Furness. Doesn't get enough credit. Did an incredible job. And if I'm being honest, my preferred way of hearing the MK1, and I think MK2 soundtracks as well, is the Genesis ports. They sound incredible, and I mean incredible. Like, the drums are amazing, and this keyboard sound, I don't even know what the proper term is. If you're a keyboard player out there or know like a kind of patch this is, let me know. But it's got this like kind of sound where it sounds kind of like the saws. What are those? I don't even know what the saws are called, but it kind of makes that sound. I'll show you an example right now. I'm going to play you a tiny little bit of one of my favorite songs called the Warrior Shrine. And I think you'll see within I'll play it for 15 seconds, that keyboard sound and how it relates to this one. Hopefully it works. It's not on YouTube. I'm going to play it on this other website right here. Hopefully it's not too loud either. I'm going to play a little bit of it right now. It just brings back so much memories. So I want you to understand that I've been chasing that sound since I was 5 years old. I love that soundtrack, and I love that sound. That whole soundtrack sounds like that, by the way. The Genesis version. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, if you can have something remind me of one of my inceptions of video game music, that's a big deal. That had it. The first one sounded a little bit more, again, I'm not trying to talk bad on the first one. It just wasn't my preferred one. But the first one sounded more, if anything, it sounded kind of more NES to me. It sounded a little more chiptune, a little more blocky. I don't know how else to put it. This one had a smoother sound that reminded me of that, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be like a Yamaha keyboard sound. I don't know. Either way, it reminded me of a really good soundtrack. And hey, you can't like everything. That's okay. I would rather be honest than to just be like, oh yeah, everything is cool. Not everything is cool. But like I said, I think it did its job. I think you're not supposed to really enjoy where you're at that point. And like every other song in this channel, I'm sure with context and knowing what's going on, it works perfectly fine. So don't get the wrong idea. That was cool. The Messenger is definitely a unique sound. Combining old school and new school is such a cool thing for millennials, millennials and Gen X, people that played video games. I feel like if you showed this to a 40-year-old and 40 to 50-year-old, I'm not trying to call you guys out, but I mean, just seriously, you recognize that sound, let's say someone hasn't played video games since the 90s or something like that, and you showed them something like this, they would feel kind of pretty nostalgic, but also be like, ooh, that's nice, that sounds new. I think it's a pretty cool thing. Terraria does it too. There's a couple of games that do it, but dude, Messenger's sick. Anyways, my preference was the Blue River, but both were great. I liked the contrast there. All right, well, that's it. Thank you very much. Biosleeve, thank you to all the requesters. Thank you to all my patrons you see on the screen. I couldn't be here without them. My name is Jesse in the auditorium. I will see you later.